You raise a real good point. We tend to talk about samadhi as an off or on phenomenon. You know, you're in samadhi or you're not. And I probably fall into that in terms of like the answer I just gave. Uh, but it is in fact a continuum in terms of depth. You know, for example, um, the you know about the book Flow and the idea of flow. So what the way he described flow for most people, that's a very shallow samadhi experience. It's kind of like you lose yourself in something, like a music concert, or you're having fun with something, or a kid playing a video game. So it's not that there aren't elements of samadhi, but that's very, very shallow. And then it goes, deeper and deeper and deeper until there's what's usually called absolute samadhi. And that is truly when the thoughts drop. We say, body and mind fall away. That's an unusual experience. It takes generally a whole lot of zazen, a whole lot of meditative experience to have that. That's at the point that people have the real extreme shift in Zen. We can call it Kensho, we can call it Satori, but it tends to be so profound, and people are so lose the sense of themselves. You can't function in the daily world that way. So you have that experience, there's a change, and then you come back to generally dealing with shallower levels of samadhi. So we just finished Sesshin, and you probably all of us had the experience of the waxing and waning of the depth of samadhi. Samadhi is in direct proportion to breathing. So as your breathing gets deeper and more refined, in other words, your hara breathing, the deeper the samadhi you're going to have. And at some point one can have this shift, and he would call it a pop. He'd actually write pop on the graph. And the degree of that shift, the degree of the pop is a function of the depth of the samadhi. So in other words, the deeper the samadhi, the deeper the realization. Now, another kind of characterization of samadhi, and I've talked a lot, particularly in recent years, about the book Zen Training by Sekida. Sekida is the one who translated the two Zen classics, and he has annotations that, the book I'm talking about, Sergei, the koan book, has Bumankan and Hekigen Roko. So he's the one who translated it. Yeah, okay. So anyway, he talks about the distinction between absolute samadhi, that's what I just described, and positive samadhi. And positive samadhi, I think, is a direct translation from the Japanese. And positive samadhi is a samadhi in activity or action. Again, you can't go through your life all the time in absolute samadhi. And it's a very good book to read, and he makes the argument that both of those are important in Zen training: absolute samadhi and developing positive samadhi.